Because...
What?
I got an invitation to join Smash!
Are you fucking kidding? What? We fucking did it! It happened! Wait a minute, it's not Rex?
Leave it to me, Rex.
It's just...
What?
Yo!
Smash Fire!
What the fuck? We did. You guys kind of did it.
Genius.
You guys kind of did it.
There are no pushovers.
Oh my fucking god. Oh, this is an animated part. Wait.
Talk about a tight spot.
Wait.
Mythra? Let me handle this.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yes.
Close, huh?
That's best girl.
Are these guys... right here.
Oh, what the fuck? Whoa.
Freely.
Serious?
Ooh.
Blinding speed. Together, nothing can stand in our way.
A stance fighter, bro. Ah, no. Oh, Nia's back. Okay, Nia's there, but she's a background character, unfortunately. Well, yeah. Shit. Fuck yeah. So, Pyra and Mythra in Smash. Where do I even begin? I guess a good place to start would be first impressions and implications, so I guess we'll start with that. I can't say that I was expecting these two, definitely not. I don't think anybody was, for that matter. The fact that they're a stance fighter is also really interesting, and the fact that just, like, Smash in itself is even implementing one to begin with is quite the treat and the surprise, so I'm definitely happy to see that as well. I think, obviously, Pyra is the power-based side, and Mythra is the speed side, so I definitely hope that they implement that feature really well, and I hope that they fit that archetype really well. I will say that their trailer definitely wasn't number one, because, I mean, comparing it to Sephiroth's reveal is kind of an unfair comparison, because, I mean, like, it's Sephiroth, of all people, but, I don't know, one thing about it that kind of turned me off was, or the thing that drove me down the wrong path was the fact that it didn't start as a Smash reveal. It kind of it started as Xenoblade 2, like as if it were like even more DLC or something, just kind of like as a little revive, but it didn't do the Smash logo reveal at the beginning, and I feel like that took a little bit of away of it from me, because that is partially the reason as to why my reaction got a little bit cut up, because I stopped the recording, because I second-guessed as to whether it was even a Smash reveal to begin with, but that's not why it drives me away. It's mainly just because of the fact that it made us think that it wasn't Smash. It made us think that it was something entirely, completely different. So that's what definitely got me away from it the most. That's definitely what led me away. But along with that, in terms of just the trailer in itself, there wasn't anything too terribly impressive, and I guess in a sense that kind of makes sense, because I mean Sephiroth was announced like last month, and that's a pretty small time frame considering fighters for Smash. That's not a very long time, especially with everybody in Japan probably all working away from each other and working at home and all that and whatnot. All the struggles throughout the world. It's definitely a small time frame, so I wouldn't expect that they had too much time to really focus on Pyra and Mythra's reveal. That, or they put all of their focus toward it, but they needed to get it out of a certain time frame, so they couldn't go for like fully animated trailers or whatnot, because they did that weird thing in between, like in the very middle. They did that little sequence with Pyra and the three fighters and whatnot, and I'm not saying that it looked like garbage. I'm definitely not saying that. Far from that. It's just, it didn't seem as grandeur as some other reveals. And again, I know this is an unfair comparison because I'm going along the lines of Sephiroth's reveal, and I mean, Sephiroth's reveal was, without a doubt, like, one of the best reveals so far in the series, so I know that it's definitely an unfair comparison, because I mean, I really don't know many people that were angry with Sephiroth's inclusion, but I know that a lot of people are not a fan of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I'm definitely assuming that Twitter is blowing up at this very moment. In terms of the character herself, or rather themselves, I guess, because they're two, I don't know much about Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I know that Pyra and Mythra were pretty much the same. I know that they were the same person, but I didn't really know that they could go like that on a whim, so that was a really nice treat, seeing them both implemented in the game in some way. Their gameplay looked kinda interesting. They both looked really visually appealing for reasons that you may not be expecting. Yeah, their moveset, their kit actually looked really cool and really satisfying, and it really makes me want to take some screenshots of them, because just, wow, they look stunning. One thing that I'm really confused about the reveal, though, is from a business perspective, because I mean, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is already a couple years old by now, so I know that they did this with ARMS and they did it with Min Min to get a little revive on the series, but that didn't last too terribly long because Min Min was a kind of a shallow choice to go with. Although I don't think that was the reason why. I think it was just the reason that, well, the game is ARMS, of all things. But I'm really not sure as to why they went with Pyra and Mythra. Like, I mean, like, I know that the Fighter's Pass has already been... I know that they already said that it's decided ahead of time, so they kind of just go with the flow and they kind of just reveal them one after another and whatnot. But I just really can't wrap my head around it, because I mean, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a really, like, it's old. Like, it was released back when practically, like, when the Switch was first revealed, I think. So I'm just not sure what exactly they entirely plan to do with adding Pyra and Mythra this way. I assume they probably want more people to play Xenoblade 2, I guess? I mean, that's kind of what they do with all characters and whatnot. With each character they reveal, they pretty much, like, want you to play their original games to get a little more attached to them and learn about them and whatnot. But I mean, it's Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because, like, I'm not a Xenoblade hater. Like, I don't know enough about the series to be a fan, and I don't know much to be a hater either. So I'm kind of, like, somewhere in between. So, like, this will actually kind of help me to get back into the game, because I've had it on my backlog for a really long time. But yeah, I just really don't get it from a business perspective, that is. So maybe I'll come to wrap my head around that someday. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And I guess that the very last thing that I'll say on the matter is that I feel like this gives us a little bit of a clue onto how the rest of this pass is gonna go. Because as unpredictable of a man Sakurai is, because I mean, well, he pulled this, I feel like we're starting to get a little bit of a pattern, because so far throughout this path, we've gotten one entirely new character, and that, like, one entirely new character is Steve, because there was, like, absolutely zero Minecraft rep in the game prior to him getting in. But we had some ARMS in Ultimate, but, like, in the form of, like, spirits and whatnot, so Min Min helped boost that a little bit. We had Sephiroth, which single-handedly saved Final Fantasy VII in Smash, and now we have Pyra and Mythra that are saving Xenoblade, because Xenoblade didn't have much in it either. Xenoblade had Shulk, a few songs, and a stage. And there really wasn't much other than that. And even then, Shulk horribly horribly represented Xenoblade, because there is so much about his Smash rendition that is different from his others in the core game. Like, he's an entirely different character almost. So now we have Pyra and Mythra, who are hopefully going to be a little bit more of a representative to Xenoblade and be a little more faithful to the series. And that's what makes me think the most, because at this rate, we're kind of sensing a little pattern where this pass seems to be filling in some of the holes in some of the series that aren't very well represented in Smash. So I feel like at this rate, we may see one entirely new character and one more patch-up character, because we still have 2 slots left to the pass, and seeing as how from what this pattern is going as, I feel like that's what's going to be the case. Of course, it could be something entirely different, because again, Sakurai is a very unpredictable man, and for all we know, it could be 2 entirely new characters. We could be bringing 2 entirely new series to Smash. But yeah, I think we'll just have to wait and see, but I definitely think that this sets some expectations a little bit. Again, we just have to see where this goes, because it's Sakurai and he can do whatever he wants, really. So my final thoughts on Pyra and Mythra. I'm okay with their inclusion. I am perfectly fine with it, because I think that Xenoblade definitely needed the boost in representation. Along with this, Smash itself is kind of in some desperate need for female reps, and needs just about as many as it can get, so I definitely respect it in that sense too, and I'm happy for that. I think their gimmick is really interesting, and I think that they can pull it off pretty well from what was shown so far. I definitely think that they'll be an interesting character to play because of their stance gimmick. Would I drop Sephiroth for them? I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't know. Sephiroth is still definitely the most satisfying DLC to play for me, but I mean, maybe Pyra and Mythra can turn that around. We'll just have to see when they drop and when we see more gameplay of them. And overall, yeah. So that's pretty much it. I'm happy with their inclusion. I think that their inclusion was kind of deserved. And yeah, I think that's about it for my opinion. So yeah.